Hey, what's up guys? Today we have a little more track footage for you. This is my first dry session at NJMP Thunderbolt, as this video was shot the same day as my last video, just much later in the day. I made a ton of mistakes as I tried to figure out the grip limit, but hopefully I get to look back at this video and show how far my driving has progressed, especially at this track. I think we're actually going to try a little bit of a voiceover for this video, intermixed with some of the subtitles that I typically use, just to feel it out and see how you guys like it. So definitely drop a comment if you prefer this style over the having to read little subtitles that pop up. This is my first lap without any sort of traffic in the dry. I got a 152, the lap prior, but obviously point bys are just warming up my tires. I honestly don't really remember. But, so yeah, this is without any traffic. As we go through, we're trying to chase the blue BRZ that's in front of us. And I gotta say, being able to chase a car that is probably set up very similarly to your own, it's honestly the best. So, trying to get as close to him as possible. So, I did set a little bit of a goal for myself today. I checked some videos online and kind of glanced around to see what other, time attack BRZs were doing. I saw people getting into the 132s, which I know my car is definitely not capable of, at least with its current setup. So my goal for today I set for myself was just to get under a 140, which I think is super doable. Nice attainable goal to start, and then we can kind of chip away from there. As we cross the finish line, you can see we finish with around a 146, which leaves plenty of time on the table to shave. Nowhere close to my goal, but I think we got this. So we get the point by from the car in front, try to get around them, and we got quite a big gap to close from that BRZ in front of us. So let's see if we can do it. In turn 9, I have this weird habit of downshifting to second, because it feels like I really need the power to power out, but then I'm kind of in this weird spot through the next turn where you'll see me shortly basically try to get on the gas and immediately have to shift. So kind of in between gears there. I think the right move is just to stay in third and then take that little bit of hit on the exit. As we come onto the front straight, there is a Porsche behind us that is much quicker than both me and this BRZ, so I got pointed by real quick. Probably could have done that a few corners ago, but I did sign up for intermediate for this track since I've never been here, so I can only point it by on the straight. As you'll see, the Porsche brakes pretty suddenly, and you can see the BRZ kind of swerve off the curb, so I think maybe he had a little bit of a moment there and scared himself, and I'm sure the 911 too. Since the BRZ pointed the Porsche by on the left, he's going to have a little bit of a compromised line, which gives me the chance to kind of close the gap, be able to be on throttle sooner, and be able to catch up to him. Just watch the level of commitment that he has. You can see him starting to pull a little bit of a gap on me, and honestly, that's what you love to see. People out here driving hard. can see me downshifting to second in turn 9, and watch my hands as you can see me sort of fight the torque, so I probably don't even need that extra power like I think I do. And you can see me fiddling with the gear shifter, trying to figure out what gear to be in, and then still have to shift up again. So definitely gonna have to try third in the future. The BRZ brakes really early, and I'm able to close the gap, which I feel like is kind of my thing at this point. I love diving deep into those corners hard on the brakes. Feels honestly amazing, and we're right back with them. At this point, I was super confused on why he was giving me a point by. Didn't really feel like I earned it. Kind of felt like I was still behind a good bit. But if you look in the rear view mirror, you can see him drop back. He must have had a problem with his car or something. I wish he was able to keep going, honestly, because I was having a blast trying to follow him. I'm sure I could have learned a lot from his lines, and especially his gear selection too. Speaking of which, you can see me think about shifting to fourth here, and I do think that's the correct answer. I should be in fourth through here so that I can get back on throttle, and you can hear me start to top out third. So if I was in fourth there, that would be much better. But apparently it's my lucky day, because it looks like we have another FRS ahead of us that we can chase. And I'm also going to try third in turn 9, which good on me, finally trying to figure that out. Of course, as soon as we catch him, he happens to be pitting, but I think that does give us plenty of room to try to start to get into a rhythm and start hot lapping. So, as we go into the braking zone in turn 1, look at the ground and you can see this little wet patch right where I want to turn in. Really trying to get a feel for those curbs. Smashing over them just feels absolutely amazing though. So I am going to stay in third gear through turn 6, but as you're going to see, I'm going to shift to fourth just for a little bit and then downshift right back to third. So not quite what I had in mind, but at least you can tell that I know it's a problem and I'm just trying to figure out what to do as I drive. So it's across the finish line. I am going to get that precious 140 mark, so close enough to my goal that I'm happy with. There's still plenty of areas to improve, so that time's going to go way down. Also of note, I got a new phone and I forgot to add my GPS and OBD2 reader into Race Chrono, so unfortunately using the internal GPS for my phone, so it's pretty inaccurate. So if it's a 140, 141, I'll never know. It doesn't really matter either way. But yeah, super happy with that. Watching this back, it's pretty obvious where I can find more time. I think there's at least 2 seconds to be had just from getting on throttle earlier, utilizing more of the curbs, and just being in the right gear. Now that I list it, those areas of improvements, it might even be more than 2 seconds now that I think about it. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.